Hello and welcome to the Decent Wrestling Show, episode number 6. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share and all that good stuff. On today's show, we're going to go through Stardom's 4th of September show, Raw review for this week. I'm going to talk about NXT UK SmackDown and Gun Barre Pro. Also a match I watched from the early 90s and a couple of questions and maybe a couple other things as well. So let's kick it right off with the 4th of September 5-star Grand Prix Stardom show. It was announced that Waka Tsukiyama, formerly of Actress Girls, will be joining World Wonder Ring Stardom, and she's no longer the devil, she is now transcended to Moonwaka. So great for her, I'm so happy and proud of her, and this is a big opportunity for her, and she has all the potential in the world. She's already got the charisma down. She's already got the facial expressions, the selling. She's got all that. All the personality. That is already all there. So she's already got the building blocks to be a star. And the wrestling ability will come in time with it. So, only big things for Waka in the future. So happy for her. And I can't wait to see her succeed. And show everyone who Waka Tsukiyama is.
Hi!
Unagi then came running out almost instantly, as she always does for new people in Stardom, and she challenged Waka to a Future of Stardom title match, which happened on the 6th of September, which I'll talk about in the next episode. I didn't watch this match. I think it was Hanan versus Fukugan, but I did just see that Hanan has lost her theme song. No more wanting to be a ring star. Although it did keep the Hanan spelling out part. And the new music is good, but I'm always going to prefer the original. So we kicked off the show with Unagi Sayaka taking on Natsu in a terrifically fun match. Really good stuff between these two. They just had me laughing at every moment. They had this tape sort of thing that Poi threw into the held on the other side of the ring and let it go, and it hit Unagi in the face, and the referee got low blowed in it, and then Poi wrapped it around the ring announcer and tried to tie Unagi to the entrance ramp, and Unagi then got Poi in a submission, and neither of them got back in the ring, and then Unagi got the tape smashed in her face again, and she fell over Poi, and she started to choke Poi at the end of the entrance ramp. So overall, a lot of craziness, a lot of fun, and a terrific opener, 3 3/4. I had so much fun with that. Next up was a solid match between Mayu Iwatani and Rina. Mayu Iwatani obviously picked up the win. Again, there was just nothing special about this match, other than Mayu did Rina's pose, and that really annoyed Rina, and she started attacking Mayu. But then they just transitioned to a pretty normal basic match, and Mayu picked up the win. But solid stuff, 2 3/4. Julia then took on Mai Sakurai. Mai Sakurai again looking a bit more comfortable, and she's really getting involved in it now. Julia basically destroyed her, but did did try to fire her up, slapping her and telling her basically to, hit me back. And Mai did eventually. Started slapping the crap out of Julia. Eventually Julia won with the Stealth Viper, but Mai showed a bit more fire, and it was really nice of Julia to really, try and bring out a fire in Mai. And Mai was crying after the match, after losing in a post-match promo, and Julia went up to her, and I don't know what they were saying, but from the take of it, from the body language, it seemed Julia was giving advice to Mai and helping her out, which is a really nice thing of Julia to do. What a sweet person. 2.5 stars. It was a match, a transitional match for Mai to get her fired up. Himeka took on Mina Shirakawa. Unfortunately, Himeka won. Poor Mina. 3 1/4. It was a good match. These two have great chemistry in the ring with each other. Really fun stuff. I was sad Mina lost, but she didn't look, she didn't get buried or anything. She looked good in defeat. And then Himeka stole Mina's belt after, because this was the day that there was meant to be an Artist of Stardom title match, which was postponed. Konami and Takumi Iroha 3.25. I really didn't get into it until the second half. It just felt like a lot of the same old sort of match where it's just kicking, a lot of kicking and more kicking and technical wrestling, and it was quite boring at times. I mean, it was technically fine, everything was solid, but I wasn't hugely into it. Surprisingly though, Konami won, pinning Iroha. Did not see that one coming. Big win for Konami, and 3.25. If you like the Stardust match, you'll enjoy it more than I did. Utami and Shuri had a match. I think it's their first match since the apparent 5.5-star classic. To me, one of the most overrated matches of the year. But 3.75, your standard great main event. 20-minute time limit draw, which means we're probably going to get a trilogy out of this, maybe. Don't see why you would do 2 draws, or technically 3 draws, and then not do a follow-up on it. But does this mean Shuri's going to be the one to take the title? I just don't see it happening. But it's possible. It opens up the door for that possibility. But yeah, your standard great match, and it in a draw. Now on to the Raw review. So this was actually a good episode of Raw, and I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. It was a solid show. Really enjoyed it because most of the show was this tag team turmoil. 8 teams in it. So the opening segment was okay, with Orton, Riddle, and Lashley and MVP, which set up the tag team turmoil and set up Orton versus Bobby Lashley, their first match since 2007. And only their second match on TV. They had one on ECW in 2007, which Bobby Lashley won, and a house show match, which Bobby Lashley won, and then they haven't wrestled since then in a singles match. So this is a fresh new matchup, and low-key, I think they could steal the show. It's going to be a terrific match. Super pumped to see that one. I expect Lashley wins, but another big win for Lashley. And then he'll probably beat Goldberg at Crown Jewel, and then we'll see where we go from there. But the tag team turmoil was a lot of fun. New Day went all the way through up until losing to Styles and Omos. But they beat the Viking Raiders in a terrific opening part of it. Then they had Mahal and Veer, which started off like hot, got a bit weaker in the middle, but then it cut to commercial, and when we came back it got better again. New Day won that. Lucha House Party was a fun segment, and they beat them. Then they had Mason T-Bar. That was the boring part, was Mason T-Bar. They just really didn't do much of note. But the beat down afterwards, they beat down New Day and Mansoor and Ali, who were the next team. Just beat the absolute living crap out of them. The beat down was really cool and well done. But the match between New Day and Mason T-Bar was kind of boring. So we renewed it later in the night with Mansoor and Ali versus New Day, and that was really good and really well done. Following that was then Styles and Omos, and again, New Day, Styles and Omos, great stuff. Omos looked at his best here with Styles. Styles and Omos won that, and then it was Lashley and MVP who were the last ones. Really chaotic ending with Lashley and MVP winning, which means they get a title shot next week against RK Bro. And if it's as better than their last match, then we're in for a treat there. Other positive was Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, having another 3.75 terrific match, with the winner taking on Damian Priest at Extreme Rules. Surprisingly, Sheamus won this one, not Drew. I was expecting Drew to win, but Sheamus won, which means we get a rematch from SummerSlam, and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it. Sheamus and Priest had a terrific match at SummerSlam. Hopefully they get given even more time and they can have an even better match. The other up was Karrion Kross absolutely destroying John Morrison. Another win for Kross. He looked good in this one. Seeing him get a win over a more established name is always a good sign, and upwards momentum for Kross, which is good to see. He also got a bit of promo time, which is good to hear. The other okay thing was Reggie and Tozawa. In the match, it went about 40 seconds, but Reggie is fun to watch. And then we had the return of Drake Maverick to Raw, and he's going to be involved in 24/7 stuff, so which is good because Drake is great at comedy, so this is going to be gold again. The only downs was the women's division, which remained quite poor. Nia and Charlotte had a match. Not gonna lie, I skipped it. I just don't care about Nia Jax. Charlotte won, thank goodness. And the one positive thing is that Alexa Bliss looks to be the next challenger for Charlotte, and at Extreme Rules that is going to take place. So hopefully Charlotte loses the belt to Alexa there, or unless they extend it for one more month or something. And then they had a women's tag match between Natalya and Tamina taking on Rhea and Nikki Ash. It was a fine match, but and Rhea and Nikki won, and they're going to have a title shot soon. I'm pretty sure Natalya and Tamina lost also to Tegan and Shotzi as well. They just lose pretty much every one of their matches. They're not great champions, are they? So let's talk about NXT UK. There was a great main event between Tio Man and Nathan Frazier. I say great, it was a very good main event, 3.5 stars. Tio Man won, thank goodness. I'm really liking Tio Man. I didn't like him at first, but he really grew on me, and he's become a great presence on NXT, and I always enjoy seeing his matches and his promos as well. He hit a nice move. I can't really explain what it really was. It's like he had him in like a reverse DDT, and then did like a front flip over him into another DDT. Just looked insane. Check out NXT UK. Check that main event out. Blair Davenport destroyed Nina Samuels and the assistant to the general manager Johnny Saint, Sid Scala, beat him up as well. So she's a big heel going to this. That was a cool opening segment. And then I've got to say this. Amale, underrated. I actually thought I'd only seen like 2 of her matches and I wasn't hugely impressed, but she had a good match with Nina Samuels, and now she had a great match here with Millie McKenzie, or Amelia McKenzie, whatever her name is. But it was a really fun match to watch. So I'm starting to think maybe Amale's a bit underrated. Also the good match with Mako, so she might be something. Still needs to work on some stuff, but she could be something. On the SmackDown side of things, 2 things to talk about really. Seth Rollins versus Edge is going to be taking place in Madison Square Garden this Friday. The rematch. I expect maybe Edge wins again, unless they're going to pull it out for a trilogy at Extreme. Actually, I could see that happening. I could see Seth winning, and then them doing some sort of stipulation match, like I Quit or something at Extreme Rules, which would be pretty cool. So if that is the plan, then I hope Seth wins. If the plan is for Edge to go away a bit for after this, then Edge should win. But the main event was Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. 4 stars, terrific main event. Go check it out. Great stuff. Roman Reigns kills it again. Reigns won, choking Balor out, as I expected Reigns to win. But then after the match, we heard a little heartbeat and a red light. That's right, it looks like we're set for the return of Demon Balor, which is going to be cool. Whether he wins the title from Roman, I mean, he might. He could be the one to beat Roman for the title, Demon Balor. Bit wrong though, putting, you want to put young talent over. Finn's older than Roman, which is, it's crazy to think about that Roman is younger than Finn. Like Finn, I think is 40 now, coming up to 40. But he's still got years left in him. He's still got 4 or 5 years left in him. So it'll be a really cool moment to see him win the Universal Championship again, and actually get to have a reign with it. Just want to say to check out on my channel the new Unagi Sayaka MV. It's one I'm super proud of. I made it for an awesome friend in mind when I was making it, and I had so much fun making it. And of course, you're watching Unagi clips as well, and you just can't help but smile and watch Unagi. She's such a terrific performer, such a charismatic, eccentric character. As she says, eccentric freak. Just you can't help but feel joyous watching Unagi Sayaka cut a promo, or just have fun like winning at a claw machine, and just a smile on the face, and the fact she has a travelling dinosaur. Just everything about Unagi is absolutely terrific and awesome. What isn't terrific and awesome is New Japan Pro Wrestling have put a ban on not only GIFs, but screenshots as well. So they were striking and copyrighting anything with New Japan GIF or screenshot. That's just so stupid. I think a lot of wrestling companies need to learn that GIFs and screenshots help promote your business. They don't take away from it. If they show a GIF of the finish of a match, okay, take that down. But for the most part, most people aren't doing that. They're promoting your product for free. They're watching your product, enjoying it, and wanting to share it to many people to get more people invested in your product. And by taking away GIFs and screenshots, you're stifling that, and you're stifling your growth. You know, look at Ice Ribbon. I hardly hear anyone talk about Ice Ribbon, because they put a ban on GIFs, and so no one talks about them, because people are afraid to talk about them, because they might get DMCA'd or striked or something, because they can't share the product they enjoy, because you've banned them from doing that. It's so backwards. Like, I understand when companies make a decision that's not best for the fans, but it's business-wise. I can understand that. I don't get angry at those sorts of things, because at the end of the day, it's a business, you want to make money. But with this, it doesn't help the fans, and it doesn't help your business either, so it's just completely pointless. It makes absolutely no sense. It's stupid and ridiculous. And it's going to hurt their growth. Enough of that rant. Let's move on to Ganbare Pro. Just want to say that Harukaze, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correct. But she is so good, man. She's gotten so much better. They've been putting on these tag matches. It's usually Yuna and someone versus Harukaze and someone, whether that's Yu Yamagata, Veni, Moeka. So a different batch of people, Makoto as well. So Ganbare is looking really good. And they're putting in these tag matches, and they're almost always like 3.5 star, 3 3/4, like really fun, great, solid 10-minute matches. And they're so much fun to watch. Ganbare is getting really good. Like the Joshi side of things is becoming more Joshi related, and I'm loving it. It's really fun to watch. And what's great is they've just signed Yuri, who I'd never seen before. I'd heard about it, I heard good things, and she made her debut at Ganbare, interrupting, that's it. Interrupting Yuna-san at the start of the show, and then Yuna and Yuri had a 4-minute match. It wasn't anything special, but it was just to show a couple of Yuri's moves. She has a really nice running forearm. Her selling was great, and she has a lot of charisma, good look, and I really like her attire. She did mess up her 619, not once, but twice, and it looked really bad. But, you know, it's probably nerves kicking in. She's still young. She's going to improve, but I see a lot of potential in her. So it's going to be exciting to see her moving forward in Ganbare, and I'm going to see how well she does. Then we had, coming up on the 12th of September, it's going to be Yuna Manasseh versus Sakiyakai. I cannot tell you how beyond hyped I am for this. Yuna's been cutting like these promos on Saki, really angry. I have no idea what Yuna's saying, but she's got so much passion that, yeah, I want to see her kick Sakiyakai's ass. It's DDT versus Ganbare. I'm going to be on Team Ganbare. Let's go Yuna-san. Beat Sakiyakai. Also, go to Yuna Manasseh's Twitter. Go to her Twitter and find her store. And go buy stuff from her. Because Yuna's great and terrific, and she deserves all the love in the world. But yeah, Ganbare is looking good. So I'm excited for the future of Ganbare, and it might be something I'm going to continue to watch even more now. I mean, I always check out the shows for Yuna-san. And then found out Harukaze was there, and she's so much fun to watch. Yu Yamagata's doing great. Makoto was amazing and enchanting. And amazing and enchanting. And then Veni as well is there. So the future of Ganbare is looking good. So another match I watched was Manami Toyota versus Fukuoka. I can't remember her first name. I just wrote down Fukuoka. From the 18th of November 1993. Now, a good friend of mine, Rob, who I hope is doing okay, talked to me about Fukuoka and said that Io Shirai basically got a lot of her stuff from Fukuoka, or it was inspired by her at least. And so I expected big things from this match. I thought Manami's one of the best, Fukuoka, this is going to be a terrific match. And I can say that I was extremely disappointed. They looked a bit off, the chemistry wasn't completely there. They looked really off at times, and there was a couple of botches that didn't look great, and they didn't really save it very well. And the whole first of the match, so 50% of the match was limb work, which was never followed up on. So basically the whole first of the match was pointless. It reminded me of Momo versus Utami, where Momo's leg was worked over and then she just didn't bother selling it. Or Cody Rhodes and MJF, oh my goodness. That match where Cody had his leg absolutely dismantled. And then the finish was him going around kicking people with his bad leg. So basically the whole match was pointless. What a waste of time. I think I gave that match 0 stars because of that. Because it really pissed me off. Because it's just you've wasted an entire 30 minutes doing something that has no effect on the match really. You've basically done the Act 1 for 29 minutes and then skipped to Act 3 and forgotten that Act 1 existed. It's like building up this whole stealth. It's like building up a whole stealth thing. I don't want to be seen. And they finally get into the building. And they're finally in the building. This is going to be Act 2. They're in the building. And then they just get up and just shoot everyone. So, that was pointless then, wasn't it? Oh, waste of time. Oh well, never mind. It did pick up in the final few minutes. I'll give it that, but it wasn't enough to save it. Was not enough to save it. But that's the thing about Manami Toyota, is I've noticed in her early years, in 92, 93 time, is that her matches seem to be full of limb work that she does not sell at all. But then it seems in 94 onwards, she started to stop doing that and just do these crazy, insane, fast-paced matches for 30 minutes. And they were so much better, and they're these 5-star classics. They're the matches of hers that make her a star, and make her one of the best of all time. I still say Akira Hokuto might be better for me. I think she's better. But Manami's terrific, except the limb work. So I only had 2 questions, anonymous questions. What do you expect from Waka in Stardom? From Moon Waka, I'm expecting the same start as Unagi, getting beaten up a lot. I'm expecting that. But I think that after maybe a year or so, I think she's going to really find her place in Stardom and start to climb the ladder. She has a ton of potential. She's terrific personality. She's going to win a load of hearts. She's going to get loads of fans, get a strong fan base. Sell a bunch of merchandise. Stardom are going to enjoy that. She's going to bring in money to the company through that. And I expect her to... I think she's going to have a bright career. A really bright career, and I honestly believe that. So, big things is what I'm expecting from Waka and Stardom, and I know she's not going to let me down. Waka. Also, Waka is probably one of the cutest things in the entire world. Ridiculously cute. Insanely cute. Out of this world cute. Maki Ito calls herself the cutest in the world. Waka Tsukiyama's in this world. Sorry, Maki. And the final question, is Raw as bad as people say? No, it's not. That's the thing, is if you have a good episode of Raw, it's, to the internet, it's meh. If you have a bad episode, which, you're running a show 52 weeks a year, you're going to have bad episodes. No matter, you could be the best writers in the world, you're going to have bad episodes. And they're the worst things in the world. But, this episode of Raw that I reviewed today, I guarantee you there's people saying this was awful, this was the worst thing ever. But really, what was the issue with it? Half the show was this tag team turmoil, which was great wrestling. This is the thing you want. You want great wrestling. And all you ask for is, we need more technical wrestling, we need more of this. You got it, and then you complain about it. So it's the same thing like this whole Jeff Hardy situation. He beat Karrion Kross, And people are like, oh, why is Jeff Hardy going over the younger talent? This is wrong. And now he's in 1 second for the 24/7 title because they had nothing for him on this show. And all of a sudden, Jeff Hardy is underutilized. He needs to be doing this. He needs to be main eventing doing this. It's like, does he though? Like, Jeff Hardy, one of the best to ever do it. Hands down. But he looks like he's in pain all the time. Like, to me, I just don't want to see him wrestling, like, every week. Like, he can have, like, a feud for a month and then go away for a couple of months because he just looks like he needs rest. He just looks hurt all the time, and it's just kind of sad to watch. It's like Matt Hardy's limping. It's just like, it's kind of just sad to watch. Or RJ Kong, you know? Maybe, I'm not telling him he should retire, but it's just, I don't know how long he's got on his body. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, Raw isn't as bad as people say. I actually enjoy it most weeks, you know. I actually, call me crazy, but literally every week I go into Raw and I'm excited to watch and I'm entertained enough, you know. Some weeks I'm like, okay, passable. And some weeks I enjoy it. Like this week I enjoyed it. I was watching the tag team turmoil, especially the Viking Raiders and New Day, and I had a massive smile on my face watching it. Like, I'm entertained by it. Sue me. You know what I mean? It entertains me. It's fine. I enjoy it. Maybe it's marketed only towards me. Who knows? Maybe I'm the writer of Raw. You never know. But anyway, that's all we have time for on this episode. Remember to stan all my favourite wrestlers, check out my YouTube, and take care. Arrivederci. Matinee.
I like their butts.